Hey, welcome back to Matter of Fact. Today I got for y'all Mock Draft 4.0. Finally, April, so it's a couple more weeks until we're there. And where is it now? Indianapolis this year?
Green Bay.
Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's in Pittsburgh next year. I might have to slide. Might have to slide for that one. But yeah, man, take it from the top. Austin's going to be odds. I'll be evens, back and forth, and yeah, super interesting draft though, man. Like I said in probably like our 2.0, it's one of the first times in like a decade plus that every team has their first round pick. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think it's that interesting. Like when I go back and you look at like some of the drafts that we had like the crazy superstars come out of. Like I really don't think we're getting that. But
that's why I think it's interesting
Yeah.
is that it's the picks aren't going to be obvious, and I think a lot of teams are going to swing and miss. Like I think a lot of teams.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting to me. Like, oh, this
Okay.
is what you felt about this guy. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see how that works out for you.
Yeah, I call this like the meat and potatoes draft. Like you're not maybe getting people with the highest ceiling, but you just get a basic floor and they're a 6-year starter, and you know what I mean? They just help contribute to winning. That's really all you can ask for in a draft like this.
Nah, 100%, 100%. But get you started here at number one, man. Tennessee on the clock, 1 of 1.
Yeah, my boy from way back, he hit me. He texted me today and said Cam Ward it is. He's a Tennessee Titans fan. So yeah, I told him that's it's gonna be a fun ride with him. So that's where we're going. Cam Ward, number 1 overall pick. Sticking to the script.
Cam Ward, just dial it in. Need a game changer there at quarterback, and Will Levis experiment. Enough of that mayonnaise and banana shit. Get a real competitor in the room. Yeah. So number 2, Cleveland Browns. Man, it's tough with them, but once again, this is what I think is going to happen type mock draft, and based on it feels like they're kind of rolling out a red carpet for a quarterback over there in Cleveland. That's just like the vibe I get right now. Ownership has owned up to the fact that the Deshaun Watson thing was
that was humongous. Because we would love to have them do that in Dallas, and they will never own up to being wrong. And for them to say it, like I mean, for me personally, I was kind of like, hey, like respect, like you know what I mean. You knew it was damaged goods when you made the call, but even afterwards, for you to admit, like, look, we kind of messed this one up. All right, fair enough. Just make it right.
Yeah, and then obviously he had that setback with the Achilles or whatever his injury is. So, look, man, you got to keep throwing darts at this. I think Shador fits Stefanski's offense pretty well. Most accurate quarterback in the draft. One of the most accurate quarterback seasons in college football history. Despite all the hate, Cleveland got him number 2, Shador Sanders.
I mean, Stefanski was trying to make it work with Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco, and DTR. So I have a lot of confidence that like Shador Sanders has something he can work with. You know
now,
what I
mean? How much validity do you see in the Kirk Cousins post draft rumors? Because he has that no trade clause.
And I don't see any in it, because if I'm the Falcons, why do I need to get rid of him? Like, there's no reason for me to get rid of him. You're already, bro. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, the money's already in the bank for you, and like, yeah, Penix is our starter, but we know how this like football is finicky. He can take one wrong step and be out for the season.
And Penix, part of the reason why he kind of fell is that injury history in college.
Right. So if I got like again, going back, I know it was unorthodox. I know what they did was weird, but they overcorrected on a position that they needed to do that with, and we'll see what happens. But I know they've got to feel good today, knowing they have a starting quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, F everything else. At least we have a starter in Penix that we like and believe in.
Yeah.
So this one's 3. Now, we're not doing multiple rounds in this, but like I was actually kind of thinking about this because you seem to really you really believe in Daboll for whatever reason. He's the coach, and it seems as if you believe in him.
Yeah, now, of course I do. Of course I do. He's like that.
Okay. And now since he's like that, and this kind of didn't work out the way that y'all wanted to, do you not would you not kind of prefer to go premium right here and then take a Jalen Milroe? Because Jalen Milroe runs a 4.4. He has the cannon arm. Like, isn't that what he's supposed to be able to do? So
my thing on Jalen Milroe, it feels like another Anthony Richardson situation. Super high upside. You're going to see a lot of flashes and whatnot, but it's a lot to fix. So I don't. Here's the thing, bro. Like, he's just not a good quarterback. Like,
who do you give? Who do you give Josh Allen's development to? Who do you credit that to? Just Josh Allen just saying that I'm going to become a star one day. Like, it doesn't matter who's coaching me, who's teaching me how to play football. I'm going to become a star.
Josh Allen actually knew how to somewhat throw the.
No, he did not.
Compared to Jalen Milroe,
bro, go back and look. He was so inaccurate. He was so inaccurate. His rookie season, he was so inaccurate.
Bro, it's not just about the accuracy either. It's just like, do you have the feel? Can you feel that pressure? How you manipulate the pocket? Like, I don't see it with Buddy.
You think that's what Josh Allen looked like? I'm not talking about Josh.
I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, look. Take Josh Allen out of it. I'll take Milroe third round. Third round would be cool, but in the second round,
I'm talking about the second round pick. He's a quarterback, so he's going to get bumped up a little bit.
I don't want to. I'm good off him in the second. Right, look, I'm good off, bro. Because I'm just going off what I see on tape, and dude, it's under construction. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot to fix. All
I'm saying is he got a strong arm and he got feet. And the guy that's your head coach, he worked with a guy that had those same traits, and he became something. But nonetheless, it's
all about where, you know what I mean? Like, obviously with Shedeur, even though he has a lot of haters, people love him at the back end of the draft. Or that trade-up situation, people love, even though we don't think that's going to happen.
Right. So what does that tell you? If it's like, oh, we'll trade up for him, or Pittsburgh would love for him to fall. Okay, the price is the price. That means you're a first-round pick. If we're going to give up capital to get back into the round to pick him up, that means he's a first-round pick. You know what I mean? And like, nobody plays with the quarterback position. Like, that's the thing that's so weird with the Shedeur situation. For me, it's like, why are we being weird with quarterback now? This has been the one position where they're not weird. They'll overdraft the position. You know what I mean? Nobody thought Bo Nix was like that outside of Sean Payton.
Everyone's pretending like they're high on Bo Nix. It's probably like the most annoying thing I see in sports media today is the revisionist history of Bo Nix and how he was talked about around this time. It's crazy.
Right, you know what I mean? But I guess they can do that because he had a good season. But I'm just saying, like, I'm either he's trash and he sucks and he's never going to do anything in the NFL, or he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. And I think he's a starting quarterback. No one's saying he's not a starter. They're like, oh, I just don't see him carrying a team. Well, guess what? He don't have to carry a team. None of these quarterbacks should have.
And that's kind of what he was tasked to do, whether you think he did, an amazing job or not. That's what he was tasked to do over there in Colorado. So, I mean, for me personally, at the number 3 spot, I'm fine with Travis. I'm like more than fine with Travis Hunter and taking the quarterback in round 2. That or Shedeur in round 1. I think I'm in a win-win position as a fan. So it kind of is what it is. I've kind of accepted, like, we might not get him. But we might. And if not, we got the unicorn. So
right. But yeah, so it's Travis Hunter at 3. We're just gonna keep it simple here.
Travis Hunter at 3. Once again, here with the Patriots. Run to the podium. Dual Carter. You signing is it Harold Landry? Doesn't stop it.
Yeah, Arnold Landry.
Nah, it's Harold.
Is it Harold?
Yeah, it's Harold.
I know it's Agent Arnold.
Agent, is that his nickname?
You know what I'm saying? H like H and then Arnold.
Bruh.
I thought it was Harold.
You messing me up.
No, seriously, that's what I'm saying. It might not be. But that's fine. I know.
Yeah. It's Harold. Yeah, yo, you're funny with the English language, bro. But yeah, but in terms of Dual Carter, you had the most money to spend. You got the prize of free agency and Milton Williams up there in the middle, and Harold Landry you kind of got as a, hey, remember me back in Tennessee 5-6 years ago, Vrabel type situation. Could easily be best player in the draft. And yeah, man, let's see if you could turn the Patriots into Titans early 2010s 2.0, you know?
Yeah, and I'm really interested. Like they got me. I'm gonna be locked in following Mr. Abdul Carter's career, like because I think he's a good player. And I mean, I get why they, you know what I'm saying, they compare him to Micah, but I think people forget how like good Micah was off the cup. Like I like no one could imagine that. Cowboys fans didn't even see that coming. Like that's 13 and a half sacks, all pro as a rookie. That's a lot to ask for any pass rusher. There's been a bunch of, and it's like you're the next Micah. Micah's still being Micah right now. And again, I think he's going to be a good pass rusher. Like I think he's going to be a blue chip pass rusher along the lines.
Well, let me ask you that. If somebody was like, maybe not in terms of how they play the position, but let's say they were like, yo, Neighbors is the next Chase. Well, Chase is still doing Chase things, but Neighbors had the rookie year he did. If Abdul Carter has a crazy, let's say he had a Jared Verse type rookie year.
But what I'm saying is like, because right, even a Jared Verse rookie year isn't a Micah rookie year. You know what I'm saying? Like Jamar Chase and Malik Neighbors probably had comparable stats as rookie, but it wasn't like Jamar Chase had a all pro big like number one, like, yo, what the hell? Like we didn't see this coming type year. He was a dog. I'm pretty sure he had 1,300 yards, but you know what I mean? It wasn't, it was a solid ass year where you're like, yeah, this cat's about to be a star. But Micah already made all pro. Like all pro is there's only 3 of those.
So what's your point?
I'm saying I'm interested to see, because to me the next Micah, you gotta like, I want, because he can be good. Like not Daniel Hunter, Will Anderson is good. Will Anderson is worth 2 first-round picks for you to trade up to 3rd for. You know what I mean? But he's not Micah. But he's still the second youngest pass rusher in the league that you would want to have on your football team right now. Is that like not valid?
No, that's valid. It's just a funny premise. It's like, nah, there's only one and only Micah.
Well, it's just I'm interested to watch it, because if he does it, I'm not going to be like hating on the boy. I'm like, damn, nah, I don't know what they're doing at Penn State, but
well, you know how it goes with these player comps, and it helps that he went to Penn State and they both wore 11.
Yeah, I'm not hating on that at all, but I just think like, yo, we didn't even expect what the fuck we got from him. Like you know what I mean? Like if he can do that, yo, that's a crazy dangerous football player. And I still think he is going to be a crazy dangerous football player. But like I'm saying, and I'm trying to make Will Anderson the comparison, because I really think Will Anderson is going to be a premier pass rusher in the NFL. Like I think he's going to be probably maybe even all pro.
Well, you gotta remember with the Micah thing, there was like the character concerns that pushed him back, and he only had like 1 year edge.
Yeah, we didn't even know he could rush the passer.
Yeah, he's
Like,
used
you know what
as a
I'm saying?
linebacker.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like
I think this year, who has more of a, because it seems like we just had this. We had Micah at Penn State, so we're going to know this year to have you rush the passer. I think the guy that's at linebacker, who's like, bro, you're going to be rushing the passer in the NFL, is Jalen Walker from Georgia. I think he's more that guy. Yeah. But
well, you know,
yeah, man, who you got at the Jags?
Yeah. I mean, for the Jags, is that the Jag? Oh, for the Jags, I'm going with Will Campbell here. It sounds like they're going to give him a shot to play left tackle. Got a little bit of, it's getting a little weird with the arm measurements and all that, but
so the way he tested out, it's like right at the threshold where it's like, all right, we're good to go.
So it's funny because they like Will Campbell. They like him as they like him as a player, as a character, as a person. So he gets all the benefit of the doubt. But the second overall pick, we like, I don't know, like he need to do everything perfect or else he can't be second overall. Like it's football, like NFL.
Shedeur?
Yeah.
Well, quarterback, there's going to be a lot more scrutiny. I mean, with Will Campbell, wasn't really getting the benefit of the doubt. I feel like he was getting chewed up because that's why he even came out with that presser where he was kind of like, I've been playing tackle all my life.
I'm saying in regard to the teams though. Like it feels like the Jaguars and like even for real, like the Patriots, they kind of like they've been indicating that like we're good with Buddy. And like even Dane Boogler or whatever, he was talking about how like, they like him. They just like him as a football guy. When he talks football. Boom, boom, boom. They like that. They like that you know what I mean? The way that when Will Campbell talks, it's like, oh yeah, this is a football guy. Like country, Louisiana, just football. And I just think that he's getting the benefit of the doubt because of that. They like him. He's going to go high. I'm dead ass. I really think because they like him, he's going to go high.
I don't know. It's hard comparing like lineman to quarterback to me. But I feel
it's just narrative. It's not necessarily lineman or anything. It's just narrative. It's just I can hear the same person talk about both players, and they talk about how Shedeur, he'll be a starter in the NFL, but I just don't think he's worth the second overall pick.
My theory with Shedeur is like the same reason why people think like there's plenty of Giants fans that are like Travis Hunter isn't a pick. Get Mason Graham if he's there. You know what I mean? Like I think Colorado just has a lot of hate stemming from like Deion, and then his son. What do you expect Deion's son as a quarterback to act like? Like he's going to have a little bit, but if it's Baker Mayfield who goes 1 overall, then he has that edge to him. He has that edge to him that you need. Like we like the confidence in this little short.
But if we were talking about raising a kid to run a Fortune 500 company, we would believe that the dad would be able to prepare his son for that. And now, because you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean. It's just interesting, all of a sudden, Deion, prime time, showtime, can't prepare his son for NFL lights in fucking Cleveland. Give me a break, dog. Give me a break. I'm off the Shedeur joint, but I'm just sometimes
you're preaching to the choir, man. At the end of the day, if it was up to me, the Browns get Travis or Abdul, and we get Shedeur, and he gets to sit behind Russ for a year until he gets hurt again. But 6, I talked to my consummate Raiders fan, and I was like, bro, you're probably tired of getting mocked, Ashton Jeanty. He's like, nah, I love it. Like,
hey, fans don't got a problem with that running back shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. I remember when we drafted Saquon, it's who I wanted, even though people were like, y'all should go quarterback. But I really want Saquon though.
Right. Fans don't give a damn, bro. If the Cowboys traded up to get Jeanty, there would be a 85%
parade.
Yeah. What? Oh my God, Jeanty would have a number 1 jersey within 3 weeks.
Oh yeah. I can see that. I
don't give a damn about them picks. But where we at now? We had the Jets. See, weird teams, they do weird shit, and apparently,
what do you think they're going to do?
I think they're going to go Tyler Warren here. I mean, if I was a franchise like the Jets, I would never not be touching a premier 5 position. Like if I'm in the draft, I'm only getting premier 5 positions. I'm not getting cute and I'm drafting a tight end. But they like him and they wanted Brock Bowers last year, so I think this year they get Tyler Warren for the quarterback of the future.
With them, I wouldn't mind them just, I know you went Olu last year. He seems good, but keep padding that line for Justin Fields. And if it's not Justin Fields, if it's not Justin Fields, because it's like it's a 3-year deal, but the money kind of works out to be
a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah, so but I see them doing this too. Like, look, we did the right thing last year. So, like I can see it for sure.
We got to get cute. We just got to get cute. We can't help it.
Yeah. So, for the Panthers, number 8, me personally, I think if this guy's here, he's not making it past the Panthers. I'm going Tech. I think he's the perfect receiver for this offense, for Bryce Young. And, let's keep elevating his weapons. Let's keep elevating that level of play for Bryce Young. You wanted him to be a point guard. We'll give him some more shit to dish out to the wing.
So their GM all but basically said that they're going to go defense with their first pick. He already kind of
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. He was basically
like we say, it's lion season, right?
Well, he got that got pride out of him. It was work to get that one out of him. K Adams was working his ass, and at first he gave her an explanation or whatever, right? And K was like, "You didn't tell me anything," and then she kept on working at it, and eventually he got to it that they're looking for defense, but nonetheless we're here and with the Saints. The Saints are just one of those teams where they just need an infusion of young talent, regardless of what side of the ball it's on. And I think because of the fact that they, have already kind of, did whatever they're doing with Derek Carr. I know I see some people talking about Jackson Dart this early, which I think is ridiculous. I think when you pick at 9, you kind of got to get the best player available. And right now, I think they got to go Mason Graham here. They went tackle last year, Olave the year before. I think now they go ahead and get somebody that's solid to give them generate some pass rush at D tackle. And they just drafted Brian Breeze too, so those two could have a nice little tandem, generate some pass rush up the middle.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. It's just good value, and like you said, bro, you got to get best player available. And if you could get it at a premium position, which, we say edge is really the premium position, but if you could get that impact, that interior threat up the middle.
I mean, if D tackles in free agency that aren't even, I'd call them B tier D tackles, are generating $20 to $26 million a year. I think D tackle is a nice little get right here. You know what I mean? You got him for 5. And then if he's good, you can pay him. But he's secured under you. You getting rookie contract labor for 5 years at a premium spot. Yeah,
100%, 100%. Now for the Bears, I think with them, they had 4 picks last year. I think they got a little cute at the end, going kicker in the 4th round. But with your top 2 picks, hold on. My computer freezing up. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, so like I said, I think they got a little cute. With your first 2 picks, you went Caleb Williams, and then you went Rome Odunze, 2, I think, very solid picks. But here, I think you go defense, actually, and I think this is where I think we have, They have Jaquan Brisker along there with Kevin Byard, but I'm going to make this a Malachi Starks spot. I think it's the best safety in the draft. I think he can make a big impact in this defense. And, it might be top of their big board here, but I like Starks here for the Bears. I'm really high on him.
I mean, yeah, and he reminds me of Brian Branch, where maybe he didn't clock the fastest 40 time, but his football skills and instincts, you can play him as slot, play him inside as a big safety, play him too high. So I just think that, he's just one of those players that once he's out on the football field, his instincts are going to take over and he's going to be able to make plays.
Yep.
But
pick 11, Niners, retool year. What you got for him?
Right here, I think they go Kelvin Banks Jr. I know Armand Membu still on the board, but the way that San Francisco plays football, I think they want somebody that's more of a power tackle, and Armand Membu is one of those players who he wins with finesse. So it wouldn't be even the thing where you can kick him inside for a little bit until he was ready to go to the outside play tackle. You would kind of have to already insert him as your right tackle on the other side of Trent Williams. So I think here they go with the position flexibility of Kelvin Banks Jr. And he also is one of those who just made the cut, I think with like 34.5-inch arms. So he will be able to eventually play or have a shot to play either one of the tackle spots if needed to.
Okay. I wonder if that's a hot take, Banks over Membu, but I like how you had your reasonings in terms of the fit and their overall depth chart. So
yeah, because like there's some people Membu probably not going to be a problem for, but he's not an all-around tackle. He's a good tackle. He's a good finesse tackle that, has all the size and length that you need and has for the potential, but he's not a mean guy. Like straight up, he's just not mean. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes, especially if you're an offensive lineman in the same locker room as Trent Williams, it got to get a little ugly in there, a little muddy.
I got you. We're going to go back-to-back Texas here. Y'all just lost Jordan Lewis, best nickel in the league. How's Trevon Diggs? Is he going to be good to go to start the season?
Nah, he's not.
Not going to be good to go. So we got somebody who you might be able to play, outside the slot, but at least you have that kind of hampered down, and you might be able to rotate him on the other side of DaRon Bland with Jahdae Barron.
You know who they would pick over Jahdae Barron?
Will Johnson.
Yeah.
I could see it. I was close to it, but I figured y'all just lost your nickel, so
yeah. But because the thing is, we still got Bland, and Bland kind of excelled at the nickel position too. So I wonder if they feel like it might be easier to insert Bland on the nickel and the inside on the nickel, and have Will Johnson play on the outside, and then just hope for the best until Trayvon can get back. But
who would you prefer?
Who would I prefer?
Yeah.
I would prefer Jahdae Barron because I think he's just an all-around cornerback. Like he reminds me of Jordan Lewis, like in terms of he's going to be in Tyrann Mathieu. He's just but he's 5'11", 195. Cowboys are a stickler on they want 6 foot and over long arms. So I like Jahdae Barron. He actually ran at the combine. I see him guard people on the outside. I seen him play in the inside, and even he played safety. So I just love his position flexibility. But due to size reasons and measurements, I think the Cowboys will go Will Johnson, which I'd be okay with the pick too. I wish I saw him run, but I would just have to deal with it. It really wouldn't hurt me that bad. Cornerback at the end of the day is a premium position, so you need.
I keep forgetting you have such a big issue with him not doing anything.
It means a lot. Like Desmond King you know what I'm saying, and Derek Stingley, there's a difference between P2 and Desmond King. Patrick Surtain, we know what he could run, and Desmond King, we liked him, but then he ran a 4.64, and it was just kind of like, all right, bro, we you know, you're limited. You are. And this is a premium pick. What I did like about our head coach is he said one thing I loved, and he was like, yo, we're picking at 12. We're not trying to be picking at 12 again. So it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, that means that you're going to get the guy that it's like we can't get them and we picking back at 26. I'm cool with that.
True. Dolphins, 13.
So the Dolphins, this one right here, they definitely I think if this happens, they're going crazy. Amar Membu to the Dolphins to play right tackle with their left-handed quarterback, Tua. So technically his blind side is his right side. I think that and the offense that they run, like I said, they don't really care for power linemen. They want a lineman that's agile and moves with finesse and all of that so they can run all their beautiful screens and reverses and misdirection plays. So I think if this happens for them, they run up to the podium.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I love that fit too. Left-handed quarterback, so right tackle becomes they say that's the most important position, but it's for that reason, for that blind side. For Tua, right tackle, solidify that, protect them.
Right. Because I don't even know if we know if he's coming back or not. I don't know if he's like retired or not, but he's been talking like he's been going to retire. So if this happens, I definitely think they'd be cool in retiring.
Yeah, they gotta address the trenches one way or another. So hopefully offensive. For the Colts, mock this pretty often from what I've seen, but I just think this completes their offense. And if you look at their depth at tight end, it's very lacking.
Wait, hold on. I don't know if a tight end can complete their offense. They don't even know who their quarterback is.
Outside quarterback. In terms of the weapons, you have Michael Pittman as your big body receiver, Alec Pierce, deep threat, Josh Downs, who I think is really their wide receiver one, to kind of do it all, and then you have a playmaker at tight end, and then you have Jonathan Taylor to help out. No more excuses for Anthony Richardson. And, no more excuses if we can't beat out Daniel Jones. Let's start there. But
I think that's fair.
But this makes it so, look, man, we got, people, there's quarterbacks that would die for these options. Add Loveland to this offense.
Yeah. All right, we got the Falcons here, who I think are going to go defense.
Hopefully, for once.
Right now, again, like we were kind of talking about earlier, they got a lot of backlash last year for double dipping at the quarterback position. But again, that position is so important. Yeah, whatever. Good thing they did it. They secured their quarterback that they think of the future. And, even though they don't have a lot of picks this year, they still got one. And I think they go pass rush here. A lot of people are saying that Jahad Campbell is going to be an edge rusher. I don't believe so. I think he's a 3-down linebacker. So I think right here, I think it's Mike Green. And, I think they just get a solid pass rusher, one of the most explosive pass rushers in this draft. And they finally can generate a little bit of a pass rush on that side of the ball since they have it for almost the past 6 years.
Yeah. Once again, it's been 6 years of first-round offensive picks. So not too surprising that the pass rush has been lacking. For the Cardinals, I definitely want to address the trenches here. I'm kind of torn between a couple picks. But ultimately, I think I'm going to go the best D tackle in the draft, or second best D tackle. Not sure what I just said, but Walter Nolan.
Really? Over Kenneth Grant?
Yeah, I like Walter Nolan over Kenneth Grant. I think with the character concerns, it seems like all that's kind of squared away. He kind of did his thing in the interviews. They're nothing legal or anything like that. It was like a maturity thing. But I like I think for picking in the middle of the draft, what you're looking for is someone who not only could stop the run, but get some pressure coming up the middle. And I think Walter Nolan does that at a better rate than Kenneth Grant.
All right. Yeah. I mean, one's a 1 tech, the other one's a 3 tech, so they have like different responsibilities. But yeah, I mean, this is a solid pick. They're one of those teams that just need a young infusion of talent on their defense. So,
and their defense played pretty well despite lacking talent.
Yeah,
and I feel like this would be a great addition for sure.
Yeah, they have a scrappy defense, but yeah, now they get a little bit of infusion of talent. Go ahead and get it popping. So right here, I think that the Seattle Seahawks, they don't really, right now they kind of trying to figure out what they want to do with all.
No, you got the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, damn, I got Cincy. Damn, okay.
Yeah, I got Cincy.
Yeah, so right here, I think this is actually a great fit for Cincy, who also needs to. Again, I think Jahad Campbell personally is going to excel as a 3-down linebacker, something kind of like Fred Warner. But they are trying to say that he can deploy as a pass rusher too. And I think for Cincinnati, who needs to fill needs at linebacker and also pass rusher, especially because they don't know what's going on with Trey Henderson.
Did you see the recent comments from I think their senior vice president? He was on McAfee today.
Mm-hmm.
He was on McAfee, and it kind of felt like he requested to be on McAfee to kind of address those things in terms of, if he wants to play here, he should be, it might be due to his own happiness, so it's up to him. Some very, very weird comment, to be honest. So,
I mean,
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Jerry Jones play. That's I deal with that shit every fucking week. But it's he's trying to negotiate through the media. You know what I mean? And if Trey Henderson isn't speaking, he can say whatever he wants to say. It's not like Trey Henderson is about to be out here tweeting, trying to correct what's been said. So it's his word against. Yeah,
it was their EVP, Katie Blackburn. We'll just see how it plays out. We said that it would be okay to at least explore, and so we don't have to do it all at one time. In this case, we felt like it was the right thing to do, case by case. I mean, it was like a lot of it was like unnecessary, but it was enough for him to want to kind of show his face and kind of, use glory to God and I love Cincy and whatnot, but show me the money type deal.
Right. It's a negotiation tactic. Boom. What happens when the GMs and the VPs speak? The fans believe it and they blame the players. And it works like clockwork. So hey, at the end of the day, I know what I'm worth. Just pay me my bread, bro, and I'll be at training camp.
For sure. For the Seahawks, I'm gonna just go with the best lineman available, Josh Simmons. Coming back from that injury, he seemed fine as of recent. Like he should be good to go for his rookie campaign. And you got to protect Sam Darnold because we saw what happens when he doesn't have protection. So
yeah. And then for Denver, I think
Tampa Bay.
Oh, Tampa Bay. What? Oh, damn. Okay, yeah. All right, for Tampa Bay, I think this is where actually, hold on. Yeah. I just think based off the talent, this is where if he even gets to this far, this is where Will Johnson stops at Tampa Bay. Starter day one, outside wide receiver, Todd Boyle's defense. He'll get it figured out.
All right. So for the Broncos, I just love this fit right here, man. I love this fit. give Sean Payton Luther Burden, get creative with.
We already have Luther Burden. His name is Marvin Mims.
Maybe this will light a fire under Marvin and be more consistent.
I ain't spending a first round pick on that shit. The light a fire in his ass. It's like, look, boy, you either getting traded or if I drafted Luther Burton, I'm that don't buy here. Do not buy a house in Denver.
All right, man. Well, not much invested in the Mims. So, you got Evan Ingram there now, Cortland Sutton. You do have Mims, but hey, maybe just be a good kick returner for you long term,
Yeah. So here, Pittsburgh, for some reason, they think they're gonna be lucky enough to have a quarterback that's good at football drop to them. That's just the definition of delusion. But
what Pittsburgh's doing right now at the quarterback position is just so it's head scratching for sure. It's confusing.
I mean, it's just Pittsburgh. They do stuff differently, and I think here though, they do stuff differently again, and they go ahead and they do the pick an unconventional pick early in the first round. Well, in the back of the first round, and they go running back Amarion Hampton. They already got DK Metcalf, and they also got YB. What's his name? YB Perkins.
Oh yeah.
YB Pickens. So I just think right here, go ahead, get a nice little plug and play 3 down back because they love that. They drafted Najee Harris in the first round, probably around a similar place. So I just think they get a tough runner in Amarion Hampton to be the bell cow back, run him into the ground for the next 5 years.
Okay, cool. So for the Chargers, if this was what I would do draft, this would be Matthew Golden all day. I feel like this is exactly what they need for this offense because that you are in one of the tougher divisions. I'd say a top 2 most difficult divisions, and that's damn near half your schedule, right? So, but this is what I think would happen. I don't see the Chargers going receiver here, especially with their needs on the D line. They have a good amount of choices at edge, and I'm going to pick the best edge available, James Pierce Jr.
Yeah. All right. Green Bay. Yeah, see, I think this one's going to be tough for Green Bay because they see Kenneth Grant there, and one thing about them is they love a first-round defensive football player. And I think they really want to turn the card in to draft him. But, they just kind of spent a lot of money investing in the Jordan Love. Offensive line, for the most part, it's not the best, but it's intact. When they're healthy, they're able to play well. I think this is the, one time where they do bite the bullet and they go ahead and they take Matthew Golden to potentially possibly be their number 1 wide receiver. I don't know if he's that type of guy. He kind of reminds me of Romeo Doubs a little bit, but 4.29, it's 4.29, and on film you can see him running routes. So he might be able to create some separation, and if everybody's healthy for that wide receiver group, I think they'd be able to excel, especially with a player like him. So I think they take a shot there.
Okay, going unconventional. I'm hoping the Chargers kind of do that exact thing. Look, this isn't the philosophy, but hey, this is what we're gonna change the script. We're gonna change it up. Yeah. For the Vikings don't have a lot of picks in this year's draft. So I think they should go get a sure thing. I think they're happy that Kenneth Grant wasn't taken by the Packers, and they go ahead and get a player that will help them stop the run in the division with some very capable backs. And very Vikings pick. Try to get, when you're lacking in picks, let's try to get a sure thing. I think Kenneth Grant's a sure thing, day 1 starter.
Hey, this is the ceiling draft. This is the floor draft. It's not the ceiling draft. This is the floor draft. And speaking of floor, I think when the offensive line coach comes through and just says like, "Yo, we don't need this guy, we don't need this guy, we don't need this guy, and we don't need this guy." I definitely think it kind of shows your hand, and you're definitely going all line in the first round. So
Yeah.
I think what is it? Yeah, Gray. Actually, honestly, I can see them liking Josh Connolly Jr., their offensive line coach. It's an old school offensive line coach. I can see him loving Josh Connolly Jr. starting him day one at tackle.
Yeah, because the thing with Gray Zabel is he's not going to be a tackle. So you're pretty much drafting a guard after you traded Tunsil. So I definitely think this is more of the pick. And I think they're a little bit blown about how tackles kind of flew off the board here a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, when you're picking at the back of the draft, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, you're playing the hope game. Right? You're playing the hope game. For the Rams, I think for the Rams, you continue to just stack this defense up, man. I think you continue to stack this defense up. And a lot of these guys are more like toolsy traits guys, athletic profiles, long, high upside guys that I think the Rams, I think they're the perfect team picking here in the back of the draft to scoop up Jalen Walker, who I think is more of an edge rusher. But if there's a team that's going to be able to get some, 3-down linebacker play out of them, it would be the Rams.
I mean, yeah, they'll definitely see what they can do with him, see how they can deploy him, and then they'll just go from there. Again, I mean, he's a terrific football player. It's just this is just a weird draft for these type of players. I mean, you can say the same thing about even Shamar Stewart that's down there. Like he can go as high as 12. Honestly, like he could go as high as Dallas, if not San Francisco. But also, it's like, all right, well, we're drafting this guy purely off his traits because he showed us nothing on film. And it's just a risk you got to take. But back here in the draft, I got Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of what they do. They just pick from whatever's left. And I think they don't mind getting a player like Shamar Stewart, and seeing how he can fit into their defense. Whether it just be strictly as a run stopping defense, outside defensive end, or him finding a way to generate pass rush, even if they got to kick him inside on third downs or something like that. They'll find a way for him to be productive.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to continue going with some edge rushers here with the Lions. I'm going to have them go ahead and get Donovan Ezaraku.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the draft here, once again, these are all playoff teams. So, you're kind of just getting your pick of the litter. And shit, when you get into those tough playoff moments, those are the key plays. Getting after the quarterback, creating those pressures, keep padding that line. You lose a Darius Smith, Aiden Hutchinson's coming back from injury. Get your choice of the edge rushers and keep it pushing.
Yeah. And so then Washington, I actually am interested to see what they do because best player available, I could kind of see them doing that. And I just wonder who they would think the best player available is. I know I want to say is Cosme. I know he tore his ACL in that playoff game versus Detroit. So he's probably going to be on PUP to start the season. But, it looks like they kind of use free agency and trading to do what they needed to take care of on offense. Picking up Deebo Samuel, picking up the left tackle, Jeremy Tunsil. I think they solidify what they want to do there. I think this is where they go ahead and they get Mikael Williams and see if he can contribute with them on the defensive line, help them generate a pass rush, and also help stop and run.
Yeah, he's definitely good at stopping the run at that edge spot. So I do like that pick there, and they're ahead of schedule in terms of their whole roster construction, so they kind of could just go
They're playing
best player
outfield.
available right there. Yeah,
I mean, like I think they would like Ibuka a lot. I just think it's like, yo, we already got Terry. We just invested into Debo. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do we really want our quarterback throwing it that many times? Like, part of the reason we were doing our thing was because we were running the ball too. So I think that they like the value, but I think they go defense here.
yeah, but is Debo currently 2025 Debo? If you like Emeka Ibuka, does that stop you?
I mean, they paid the money for him. They gave up the capital for him. So I'm not saying that Debo is this, special player still or anything like that. But if you pay $19 million or take on $21 million, that guy's in your, he's part of the offense. He's involved.
I mean,
So
think about it though. With the Bears, they had 4 picks. They paid Keenan Allen and stopped him from getting a Dunze. Now, they play different roles
right.
as on the offense, but
But
I don't
yeah,
know. I think you got your superstar quarterback. You need to get yourself like Terry McLaurin. It's like a different generation. He's been in the league for a while,
But I mean, he's working, and again, it just seems I'm just going off of how they're doing things. It seems like they don't mind having veteran pieces in those spots. Like tight end, Zach Ertz, running back.
They had one of the oldest rosters.
Yeah,
last year.
yeah. So I'm kind of just going off of how they're approaching this thing. They're giving up picks for veteran, pieces. So I just think that that's their approach to this thing. Again, their GM is coming from a basketball background, and basketball, you could care less about young basketball players. Like, you know what I mean? It's we don't care. We want the established, known piece. We'll give up a first round pick. It's completely different in football, but I don't know if they've came around to that philosophy or if they're just adapting a more basketball philosophy in football.
We'll see this year if the Jaden Daniels first year explosion just kind of saved their roster construction choices a little bit and see,
I mean, isn't that what a quarterback does? Isn't that what I mean? Isn't that what they could do?
Nah, facts. For the Bills, let's see. They have Ed Oliver up the middle, along with what's his name? Daquan Jones. You could do better there. And I think this prospect could go a little bit higher. I could see him going in the late teens easily, but I'm going to go with Oregon's Derek Harmon.
Yeah.
I think this is a need. Pad that D-line. And you could see a trend with these last couple picks. It's all been trenches since the Vikings. Grant, Connerly, Walker, who I consider an edge. Shamar, like you in the playoffs, man. You gotta address some trenches.
Yeah, and I mean, this is again, this is you're not going to get the best of both worlds drafting at the back end of the draft. You're going to get a guy that again he probably has the production, doesn't have the traits, or he has the amazing traits, hasn't showed any production. And because of that, you got to believe in your coaching staff. You got to believe in the player and his wanting to have his own development, and hopefully he works hard enough and he hits. But again, I think that's what kind of happens here with the Chiefs. They're always picking at the back end of the draft. They would love to have a solid left tackle, day one starter, but due to the fact that they're always picking last choice, they just got to settle with the scraps. And I think they go ahead and they get Graves Abel and just, let him insert him in at one of the guard spots, if not at center. And they just try to work it out from there. They just drafted a young left tackle last year in the first round. So maybe another year of development under his belt, give him another shot, throw him out there. Hopefully he can do something. Lucky enough, he's blocking for Pat Mahomes. So his job's not going to be too hard. But, yeah, I think they go O-line here.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you opted to keep Trey Smith. You got him there, right guard. Traded away Joe Tooney. Hopefully, he could come in there and replace Joe's role there. So, yeah, can't be too mad at it. With the Eagles, they lost a lot of pieces on defense. So I'm gonna go with a pick that I haven't really seen here, and he's been a recent riser. I'm actually gonna go with Nick Emewarie for the Eagles. Just lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I think they were hoping that one of these Georgia guys were there at the back end where they could address losing Milton Williams. Well, I know he's in the middle, but who else did they lose? They lose Josh Sweat to the Cardinals.
You know what's going to be crazy?
What?
If they end up with Luther Burden. Like
I don't know if they go.
My only thing is that we already know they don't mind taking shots at wide receiver in the first round. He spent 3 first-round draft picks on wide receivers, and it's like then they traded for Jahan Dotson, who was also a first-round wide receiver, so they could try to find a wide receiver 3. And I mean, it's like, all right, well, if y'all let him drop, I guess we'll just have Luther Burden on our football team with Saquon Barkley and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I guess we'll just give Jalen Hurts every single opportunity to succeed every time he drops back and snaps the football.
I just think with the way they play, they might as well make it easier for Saquon to get into some of them rushing lanes, or give him some more time, give Hurts some more time to get it to Goddard or Smith But yeah, the Jahan Dotson trade was definitely interesting. So that might be a kind of clue into, and we're kind of looking for that third weapon.
Right. And these cats they're on big contracts, both of them. But you know what I mean? Like, all right, what if maybe they need to get off of one here in the next few years? It's like, all right, well, at least we got Luther in the tuck or something. I'm just thinking, because I don't want them to have anything good. But with that being said, I got to prepare myself for them making the right damn decision. You know what I mean? It's like, I made it right.
Well, what do you think about the Emewarie pick?
I mean, I would love that pick. I would love for him, because I don't know if he can play football. So it's like, okay, like, you know what I mean? I'll take it. You know what I mean? I'll take him. We can figure that out. But I want them to miss. I need them to miss.
So you don't agree? You don't agree with his his stock rise then?
I mean, I don't know if his stock has necessarily rise. I think maybe to draft Twitter or that side of it, but I don't know if his stock rose or fell even off the combine, because one of the things that a lot of these draft scouts, one of their things that they say is, I don't move a player based off of his 40 time. I don't move a player based off of his workout. You know what I mean? So they kind of trust their film, and they saw him on film before he ran that 4.3 at 222 pounds or whatever it is. So, we saw them go crazy, and naturally it's like, oh, we gotta check this cat out, like da 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 da. But maybe this second round, late first round, it's always kind of been where he was slotted at based on the measurables.
Yeah, personally, from the tape that I've seen, I don't really see it. I wouldn't say I don't know if he could play football. That's the extreme version of what I've seen. But with Howie Roseman, he's the type to take the draft riser. It kind of feels like he's kind of tapped in the draft Twitter and whatnot. So that's why I feel like it's a pretty realistic pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably realistic. And again, the way that Howie Roseman plays this stuff is again, they let good football players fall to him. You know what I'm saying? Quentin Mitchell was a good football player. He should not have been there at 27. Cooper DeJean good football player. He should not have been there in the second round for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And we're going to do a reaction to our mock draft, our 2024 final mock draft, and you'll see where we had Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean going. The Eagles definitely weren't supposed to get both of them. Just that crazy run on offense early in that draft. But, yeah, man, that's definitely what they do, unfortunately, for us NFC Easters, man.
Right. So, I mean, it is what it is. They enjoy our misery. So fuck them.
Yeah, Super Bowl champs. But yeah, that's it for that. Matter of fact, like and subscribe. We'll probably knock out 2-3 more mock drafts before the draft here on April 22nd. So stay tuned. You got anything else?
Nah, just like and subscribe.